Okay, well, let's get started, hey? I hope everybody's going well and going strong. If you're going strong, well, that's great. But if you've had some up and down moments, that's fine too. When you consider that we're going through the most significant life and business change ever, I can't imagine that it's all blue skies for everyone. So I know I've gone through a few rough patches, and when I just want to turn off my phone and curl up somewhere. If you've got kids living at home, then you just have to get on with it. If you don't have kids, then it may be more difficult to have some form of routine, I guess. If you've got a supportive partner, that's great. But if you're on your own, well, you're not, because we're here to give you all the support that we can. That's why, no matter what your circumstance is, I want to remind you the importance of setting up some routines in your day. And I remember, we talked about it with Amanda, setting some chunks of time that you dedicate to strategizing, to learning new skills. Like, for example, setting up a Zoom meeting. You can use us as a way to set up your meeting. You can do a fake meeting and give us the link, and we'll sit down and listen to what you want to propose. So there's a lot of new skills that especially technological skills, that we all have to learn and develop. So that's certainly something that we can help you with as much as possible. There's focusing on health, and I was listening to this guy on the weekend, Dr. David Sinclair, and there was a lot of things that he said that was really valuable, I thought. And one thing he mentioned was, like, the number one thing you can do for your health is to do some high intensive training. So 10-15 minutes a day, that's all you need to do. 10-15 minutes a day where you really get the heart pumping and the blood circulating. And an easy way to do it is to just do some skipping. And so if you haven't done some skipping for a while, you try and do skipping for a minute, and you'll see how your heart goes. Or just running up some stairs and walking down, or doing some star jumps. A great way to get the heart pumping. So that's a really important thing you can do. Of course, focusing on your health always starts with nutrition, and so taking the time to make some really good meals. I was just talking with Amanda a little earlier on this morning, and she was like saying how she just loves cooking and how therapeutic it is, and just to start eating some beautiful things that are in season. That would be good. I'd rather that you lead your call back. No, she's the lady who wants to join, can join. All right. So anyway, just focusing on your health, and also a chunk where you focus on how you can serve and help other people. We're all in this together, and I want to hear the successes you have been having, but also I want to hear the struggles. What are your biggest challenges? It could be related to being confined, or handling the family 24 hours a day, or the technical issues that you're having and you don't know where to start or how to start. And I'd really like to hear what everybody has who's in this meeting, who's been with us listening to this meeting. What I'd like to ask you is that you do a video recording of 2 minutes. So use your phone and just say in the simplest way you can, just say the things that you've really struggled with, and all the things that, the silver linings that you found since we've gone into hibernation. What you've really discovered about yourself, or the skills that you've learned, and so please, for listening to this Zoom meeting, if you're part of it, please make a video, and you can upload it on our closed group. The closed group is for all of us, and to share with us each other what what are the great things and the struggles we're having, I think is a very unifying thing for us all. So that, you know, I'm going through some hard times, and I can't imagine that anybody else isn't. And but I'm here as well, thinking about, you know, the positive things that I can do to get myself up off the ground, and that's where I come back to the structures and the routines. So that would be a great thing to hear those little videos. I'll be watching them, all of them. So please post them on our group. The other thing I wanted to ask everybody is, and it's something I didn't think, and it's just Jemima who reminded me, is that we have these meetings at 1 p.m. and I just set the time as 1 p.m. as being, you know, a time that worked well for me. But I forgot to ask you. So if you want to, you know, in the little chat box, if you want to put the time that would work best for you. If we seem to be having, you know, 10 people saying that 3 p.m. is better, then we'll certainly consider moving the time. So just put whatever time. If 1 p.m. it works fine for you, that's great. We'll keep it at 1 p.m. Ideally, that would be, you know, the best way of moving forward. But if you really are struggling with the 1 p.m. time, and you have to watch the recording because we record every meeting, then, you know, just please do that. So first up today, what we have our very own Jemima. She will be discussing the various structures and principle of doing an online consultation. And I know that last week when we had Fiona, she delved into that a bit. And we thought, well, let's go a little bit deeper on what you can actually do online in a scenario. So I can't wait to hear what she's going to share with us. She's done this herself, so she has the experience. And for a lot of us who work in a salon environment, we've always done the consultation face-to-face. So to do an online consultation will be really interesting. And then I have a good friend, Rolando. He's a business mentor, and he has set up several spa and wellness salons that were turning over like $3 million a year. So big business person, and we often talk together, like we spark from one another, we inspire each other. And he said, look, you know, if you want me to talk in your meeting, I'd be happy to. So I thought, yeah, sure, that'd be great. So he's going to talk to us a little bit, and we've got Amanda with us, Amanda Stevens, who's here, and she's going to plant a seed, like she's so good at doing, in just the concept and idea of subscription. It may not be for everybody now, but let's hear her idea, and you might like to implement that as well as an option of some of the things that you offer your clients. So I'm going to hand over the microphone and the screen to Jemima. Jemima, you're up.
Thanks, Frank. Hi, everybody. Good to be with you today. It's good to see some happy faces on the end of the video. So we're thinking about you all, and we're here for all of your needs on the end of the phone anytime that you need us. So Frank and Danny and I had talked about doing some online consultation, and for some of you it's something that you haven't done before. For some of you, it might be things that you've dabbled in and maybe you're unsure about the process. So Danny and I have been talking with clients in the last couple of weeks around some of the tips that may work for you. And we thought we would share some of these with you today. So firstly, I'd like to also say that this is a forum where you can jump in at any time. And if you're unsure how to do that, on the bottom of your screen, the left-hand side of your screen is the little microphone icon. And that will be muted really by Frank at this point for most of us. So we haven't got too much background noise, which can be quite distracting. So if you do want to jump in or ask a question at any point with what I'm about to talk about, just press that button down in the bottom left-hand corner, and that will unmute you, and you'll be able to jump in and just ask whatever you would like to, or contribute to the discussion while we're having it. So the online consultation is sometimes overthought, and sometimes people think that it has to be done very differently than how you might be doing it in your salon. So the biggest difference is going to be that we just can't be touching their face. So what we're going to be doing is relying not just on the client giving us some information, but the answers in the consult will only be as good as our questions. So it might even be a time to reconsider or consider looking at what your current consultation form is asking, and maybe getting some expansion on some of those questions, or adding in new things that you will need to be asking the client and relying on them to be able to answer to help guide you through the consult process, because you can't touch their face. So a couple of ways that I used to do it in the salon was, of course, the consult form that I used to print off that I would get people to fill out manually when they arrived to the store. You could just email them that consult form and they could fill it out for you prior to an appointment time that they've made with you to have the consultation. So there's a couple of tricks that I used to use in doing it just in a simple, plain old Word document. So if you are deciding that you would, and you might already have your consult form currently in a Word document format, if you do, it's probably set up for someone to fill out mostly by hand. So it might have lines after a question for them to fill in. What I would suggest that you do is alter your form so that it can be sent via email in a way that there are no lines for them to write on if they are going to fill it out on their computer and send back to you. By doing this, with the lines that are taken out, it gives people the chance to be able to type into the space without at all reformatting the document, or them getting stuck on how to remove a line when they're trying to type something. It can really confuse people if they're not really used to using it on a computer. It also means that you've just then got a question on one line, and then you've got a space underneath it. And it could be a big enough space that they can either type the answer in, or if they don't want to do it on the computer, to type the answer and email it back to you, they can print it off. They can hand write the answer in the space that you've left for them, and they can either email it back to you. And for some people that aren't maybe savvy on the computer, they can simply just take a photo on their phone and text it to you, which from there you can then email it to yourself, and then you can actually print it out. So you'll actually have the document in front of you. It sounds a bit maybe convoluted, but it actually works for some people that are not used to using or answering questions on a document form. So have a look at your current consult form now. If it isn't in a Word document, maybe put it into one. Maybe email it to a friend or a family member and ask them to fill it out so that they can tell you how hard or easy it is, or if it's the change is being, the formats are being changed, and if they need more space or less space in answers. But I would suggest have one question on the line and then have a gap underneath it, one question and then a gap, and so on, to be able to make it really easy for them, because you don't want them getting frustrated or confused even at this early process. If they are going to photograph it and send it back to you, I do suggest that you do print it out, just like you would have in your salon if you're using it in a paper format. If you're using an online system currently, you may already have an ability through your software packages where you already have a consult form. You can just use that to be able to do it and have the information ready for you before you start the consult. Our suggestion would be that you have obviously read the consult form before you make an appointment time with your client. So say perhaps your client's due to have an online consultation with you, then it might be at 10 o'clock, that you will have had your printout ready in front of you like you would if they were doing it in the salon and emailing it back to you, so that you can have a read through it first and be prepared to ask the questions and clarify anything like you would normally be doing in a thorough consultation process. Now, how do we do it on video or online? There's a few different ways that I'm sure you're already doing, and some of you may already be doing it with clients that you have that are interstate or unable to get to the salon at the right time. The simplest way for those with iPhones is the plain old FaceTime. The FaceTime is a brilliant format to be able to use up close and personal, and it actually, for some people that use FaceTime, they get a bit frightened by themselves actually looking at themselves in the little window. So it is a really good format to be able to do a consult. So in our suggestion, we'd be saying, have your form ready to go, have it printed off, have the set time, an appointment time like you would normally have in the salon. And you might decide whether it's 15, half an hour or an hour long consult to be able to get them started on whatever they're calling you about. In terms of charging, people keep asking, should I be charging? Should I not be charging for the consult? And this is really an individual answer for your business. We would be suggesting that you should be charging for your consultations. Your time, if we were in the salon, is how we make our money. We are a time-based business. So any time that you are giving away, you are not earning money. The consultation process is your time, and you are scheduling out that like you would be in a salon to do your consultation. Then you won't be doing another service at the same time. So you need to be sensible around charging for your consult. It's your professional expertise, and it's your time, and it's your ability to help that person with whatever their concerns are with their skin. If you don't charge for your time, what is that saying about the value of your service? It's something to really consider. There are some people that are offering a redemption of the consultation charge on the purchase of products, and that can be a good idea for you if that's what's going to work, or it might be what you already offer in your salons. But I would make it over a certain amount of money. You don't want to be offering a consultation process and someone's buying a cheap product. You want to be able to make sure that you are recovering your costs, which for those of you in Melbourne, you know that I talk about that a hell of a lot. It's around what your recovery costs need to be able to earn money in your business. And this time is no different. In fact, it's probably more important that we are charging for our time, because you won't be able to make it up on your services. So have your consultation form ready, have the time slot booked in, and you'd be suggesting to that client that they are on either their computer or their iPad or their phone. And if they have the FaceTime ability to use that, that's a simple one to use. If you want to do something like a Zoom session, then you can do that. You can set up your own Zoom account, and you can send that client the link, just like we're doing here in today's meeting. With the consult, there are things that have always worked for me, and that is often around, picture the client's face like a clock, and you are using each number of that clock to be able to go to help the client show you where you want the camera situated around the face, so that you can do a consultation really thoroughly. And you explain to them that we're using that methodology, that I'm going to be having you hold the phone close to your face and move it around like the numbers on a clock, so I can have a really good look and understanding around what it is that's going on with your skin, and how I can best help you with what you are wanting to have as the outcome of your skin routine and my expertise. So it's amazing how, when, and you probably maybe already had a go at this, and if you haven't, I would suggest that you do it with friends or family, but moving the camera really close to your face will enable you to be able to really, really have a good look. And if you're going in really close, you'll be able to see sections of the forehead. You'll be able to be asking the question around what it is that they are wanting to achieve on that part of their face, because they would have told you some of those elements in their consultation. But now that you want to be clarifying that when they are up close and personal to the screen. If you are using it in sections like that, and you are getting that client to come in really close with the right lighting, you'll be amazed at how good you can see, well, on my face, some of the deeper lines that are in existence. I've had a nice little pimple pop up on chin over the weekend. So there are things that you'll be able to see up really close. And if you get them to hold that there and get them to move it around a fraction and turn their head slightly into different lighting, it'll be just like doing it effectively face to face. It will take a little while for you to get the practice in doing it with somebody that you know, to be able to hold and move their phone around the face, like I said, like you're using it, the numbers on a clock. When the up close and personal is happening, what I used to also do is I would say to somebody to put their fingers on that part of their face. I'd get them to close their eyes and I would get them to feel what it feels like and get them to describe to me what it felt like to them. So not trying to use the sort of the atypical words that people might use, like dehydrated or dry. They are words that they will use, but encourage them to give you really descriptive words of what it does feel like. Because when they take their hands away from that part of the face and you're moving up really close to that part of the face, you can then have more interaction with them around how they are describing it to you. And it can be bumpy, it can be dry, it can be rough, it can be feeling like it's oily. All of those answers are going to be pretty, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Normal, that people would be using, but you can probe them a little bit more with further questions around what it does feel like for them. And you might be able to then bounce back. Well, does it feel more like this or more like this, to be able to help with your consult to get down to the nitty gritty of it. In terms of the appointment time, we would always suggest that the client has come to you with a cleansed, clean face. And that way it just cuts down time that they are going to be with you and paying for your time. If it's a client that you see regularly, you can actually get them to, rather than have their face cleansed before the appointment time, is perhaps get them to do it with you while you are online. And that way you can actually give them some feedback around what and how they're using their products. And say, for example, with a genetic glyco milky cleanser, whether they're removing it with soft tissues or whether they're removing it with fibrella or with water, or how much product they're using. It'll be like a real concierge, professional, personalised service made just for them. So with the element of going up close, again, just really, and if it means you spend a minute or so on that part of the face to really get to the answer of what they are saying it feels like, I'd suggest that you just keep on that point until you get the answers that you need to help you understand what it is that they have going on, for you to be able to recommend what you need to be doing. I've written down some other notes around elements of the consult form. If, depending on what your consult form that you're using, is it your own that you've made up? Is it one that Genetic has, or the NIMU consult form? You may need to alter it to suit what you are also trained in. And if that's a little bit of nutrition training, or if it's face mapping, or if it's tongue diagnosis, or anything else that you have been trained in, your consult form should actually have questions around those things so that you can help your client to know the knowledge that you have acquired or continue to acquire are all part of the process as to how you know what you're talking about when it comes to skin. So for example, my background's in nutrition separately, so my consult form always had a lot of information and questions around their eating habits, what time they went to sleep, what their blood type was, because those things really did help form an idea of what was going on inside their body and what was coming out of their skin. And if you haven't got some of those things, that's completely fine. But anything that you know that you've read or that you understand helps with your consulting that you're asking in the room, please make sure that they're on your consultation form. A lot of the time, the consultation forms that we've seen and we've helped people with are pretty generic and miss some of the other opportunities that we would be saying verbally to our clients. So if you haven't done that in a while, we'd be suggesting that you get you, the therapist, going through the consult form with your, I said, your friend or family in your house, and have someone who's watching you on their FaceTime from your staff or another therapist to maybe suggest the things that you would be asking somebody if you were doing a face-to-face that does not appear on your consultation form. And that could just be either questions that they are answering, or it's a reminder and a prompt to you about the things that you might normally suggest or say or ask when you do have someone physically laying on the bed in front of you. With some of the software packages, they do have some consultation forms. If you need to add extra to that, then just send on an extra Word document to that person if not everything is on the form that you have through your software package. There are also some apps that allow you to build a consultation form or any other forms that your businesses need. So there could be some apps that are going to be applicable to some people to start to use now. Because I think people need to consider that this could be an extra service to your business that you now provide ongoing. Who's to say just because the coronavirus is finished when it is finished that you have to stop doing consults in this way? You can reach a whole other audience, people who don't even live in your state, by being able to do this, by being able to offer online consult forms and face-to-face sessions with Zoom, with Facetime. Back in the day, before the videos were on our phones, I used to get people to send me in a photo of their face. So they used to take the photo, they used to get it developed, they would send it in, and then we would have the consultation form, the consultation on the phone back in the day then, before the iPhones came in. So there are plenty of ways around doing this. I just would encourage people not to overthink it sometimes and just keep it pretty simple, and as a start to get things happening for the skin. But if you practice with your friends, you'll be amazed at how much you can actually see, as long as the phone isn't being moved too fast around the face. And if people are watching and want to do this with Danielle or I as a practice, just give us a call and we will do it with you, and you'll be able to see our clean faces and maybe give me some ideas how to fix this big pimple on my chin. So that's sort of the bulk of it for the moment to get people started. Does anyone have any suggestions or ideas around things that they currently use or have heard about and are yet to try? Anything from anyone?
Hi, Jemima.
Hi, Shelly. How you doing?
Yeah, really good, thank you. This is a great topic. After listening to hear you talk, I'm contacting my software program straight away, Katoomba, because we just recently updated our consultation form very, very, very thorough, like really.
Excellent.
So I wanna know if I've already done it inside my software program. Is there some way I can send it? And then the other thought that I had was the Katoomba booking app. I want to know if I can just put it on there, so then I don't actually have to do anything. So I would say,
great idea.
There's probably, so my first call after we hang up is going to be to Katoomba to find out what they've already got in place. I'm no tech head, so if they've already got it, and all I have to do is send it to them, because I've already linked it inside when they come into the salon. Well, why can't they fill it out before?
You bet. And you might even find it something that you do ongoing to your clients going forward. A lot of places do.
Mine is so thorough now. It's a really good 10, 15 minutes of them filling out, and I want it done properly. And so, yeah, I actually asked them to come in earlier than their appointment. But if I could say to them, by the way, on your booking app, hit the first time facial client form, and then you can give me all that information before you arrive here, I can start. Oh my gosh, 9 times out of 10, I can already be prescribing, and I've not even seen the skin.
There you go.
Based on the information that I've got inside my consultation form.
And can I say, Shelly, I totally agree. And that is almost the basis of a perfect consult, is that the client can fill out all that information and you don't even need to see them. You could almost tell them what their symptoms will be, what their skin will look and feel like, and they're going to think, oh my God, how do you know that stuff? It's because your consult's so thorough. That is the secret to all good skin regimes that the beauty therapists are doing. So, and I would encourage.
When you were talking, like if they've filled it in properly, I could probably do it blind. I could say, oh, you're lumpy bumpy right there. Well.
Yep. And that's exactly, and imagine the value that that's going to also add to your service, because the clients are going to think, oh my gosh, how do you know this stuff? It just gives you more value, because when that client is then telling her friend that she's been to you, and before she even met you, she could tell you what your skin was doing. That's kind of how I got the name the Skin Whisperer. Same sort of process.
This is different for every single person. One of the things that the more knowledge you have, sometimes it's not necessarily the more power. So we've been working a lot on nutrition and gut health and all that thing. And I'll give you one specific example. I've got a young girl coming in here at the moment with dreadful skin, and we're doing lots of great things to help her. She's on good products. Before this started, she was on a really good regime, both in the salon and at home, and now it's all gone down the gurgler. But she's a very anxious young girl, like she just is when she walks in. And she's a grad student doing first year nursing, and her first placement is in ED, in the emergency department, and she's on the phone going, why is my skin like breaking out again? And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, how do you tell somebody it's not my products, it's your attitude? Like, it's a very difficult conversation to have with somebody, because she
I was just going to say, this is the time, this is probably the perfect time for therapists, if they haven't done some reading up on the gut skin link, now is the perfect time to do it. What we are facing currently with the coronavirus is no different to any disaster that's happened worldwide, in the sense of, while the disaster is different, the emotional response is the same virtually. So for people that have never gone through disaster before, and that can be losing a job, it can be losing someone that you love, it can be going through a natural disaster like I've been through, it can be this kind of disaster. Effectively, what I've learned from being involved in the disaster world is that the disaster might be different, but the emotional, nervous, mental health response is exactly the same. So it'll be a great time for people to be learning about what happens to our nervous system in times of stress and trauma, because it will help you to help your clients know what's likely to start to happen to their skin, and to look for the signs.
Some of the people watching have already started saying her cortisol levels are out, the fight or flight. Like I know all of that, but it's really hard for me to tell her, Casey, it's you. It's your.
So why don't you suggest? I can suggest getting little short videos happening on your, because you're really great at your videos too, Shell. So I'd be saying to you, learn a little bit about the trauma response, what happens physically. There's heaps of information. If people are looking for some of that, I'm happy to share some of that with you. I talk professionally in this space with government and corporates, and I have done since the Black Saturday bushfires. I'm trained in some of the trauma response, so I can help with this for people that might want to know a bit more about it. And there's basic general information anywhere online. You don't have to have a psychological degree to understand the trauma response. No, so if you're doing a couple of short videos, if you're saying to your whole audience, Shelley, if you're saying, with what we're facing, it's normal for our bodies to go through this change. What does that mean for your skin? Well, it might mean these are some of the things that you might start to see happening. And then you can be suggesting some of the solutions to that. So I'd be suggesting do a series of videos, because this is the prime opportunity to get ahead of it before this happens to more of your clients. So with what's happening, learn a bit more about the trauma response, what happens to our nervous system, read a bit more about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system and what that is and what that does, and the fight or flight or the rest and digest, and understand what that then does to our body, because that will, of course, impact what's coming out in our face. Now, the other thing that could be worthwhile linking that to, for those of you that have read Fiona Tuck's book, she has an incredible face mapping diagnosis that I think Fiona should be doing some teaching in myself personally, just on the face mapping, because if you're looking at her face mapping, if you can see that sort of up close, it also will tell you for some clients, wherever it's happening on their face, of course, will be linking back to an area or a system or an organ in their body. And of course, for a lot of people, right through the center of the cheeks here is the stomach line. What do we all feel when we're anxious or nervous? It goes straight to our stomach. So they might start to see more issues or damage in the cheek area. They might have more capillaries coming out. They might have more flushness and redness. That's all to do with the stomach directly. Of course, for women, the ovary lines being here, in terms of stress and what's happening, they're more likely to have activity on the ovary lines. You know, the cortisol keeping them awake, the melatonin not kicking in at night time. So now is the time, and I encourage everyone, learn more about the nervous system and what it will do to our body, which we then will have a link in and a flow on to what it will do to our skin. So highlight those things, but give them the solutions or some ideas of solutions. And for some people, they don't want to meditate. They don't want to do yoga. It's not their kind of thing. They need to find, and you need to be able to help them, maybe come up with some ideas that work for them, that reduce the adrenal glands being in that constant fight process. Because of course, we all know when the adrenal glands are exhausted as well, that's really going to affect the skin, because I won't be sleeping and all the other things that happen. So we need to be circumventing these things by some of the suggestions, and it might be products that they're using at home. Are you selling them a silk pillowcase to be using during this time to help their skin more? There's a few different things that we can be suggesting, but short videos, you don't have to be an expert, but there are plenty of other experts that have got short videos on YouTube.
To do a video.
You what, sorry?
I'm not shy to do a video.
No, you're great on the videos. We love it. That's what I'm saying. You can do this with your eyes closed. A couple of minutes just saying, and you might even link it to a little quick TED talk. It talks about the difference between parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. And you might do that. And then you can say, well, what does that mean for your skin?
Yeah.
And you've not only educated them on the process that they're going through, because the process they're going through is completely normal. Good days, bad days, want to cry 1 minute and they're feeling, okay, I've got this the next minute. There are so many elements to this. And we call this, it's a roller coaster ride. So right now we're still all in the response stage of disaster. We haven't hit the recovery stage yet. And that's when the adrenaline starts to really calm down and things really feel like they've hit rock bottom. And you've got to climb your way out of recovery. That applies to us, but it also applies to the skin. Post-disaster, I aged 10 years in 2 years. So these are the things that you want to be sharing with your client about what's likely to happen and putting the solution in place before it starts to get out of hand. So short videos, linking it to information, and here are some solutions. And do those regularly. Don't try and put a solution in each video. Maybe give them a couple during the week. Another tip. Does that help?
Yeah, it really does. Thank you. Good.
Excellent. Any other questions or suggestions? Definitely, I think, Shelly, you made a great point. If you're using a software system, the first thing to do when you get off this, this Zoom session is definitely call your software provider and just see what they have available. But keep in mind, if it can't be done easily, have a Word document backup. That's just a simple, like it's so simple. People just kind of overlook that sometimes. There's a couple of other online forms that can be done with gocanvas.com, and Consult is another app that people are using, which also hooks up to Timely if they're using that for their booking service, which we could post that information on here afterwards. So hope that helps a little bit. Danny, did you think of anything else that we were talking about that I haven't covered in that long-winded conversation?
Oh, Jemima, I've always got something to say, but not when you speak. You've covered it all. It's brilliant.
Okay. Anybody else? I don't know whether Naomi might want to weigh in with a couple of things.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, how are you presenting this to your clients so they can book in for an online consult? Are you emailing that? Because I haven't done online for a long time.
Yep.
Would I be emailing, or would we be emailing people and saying this is what I'm offering now, do a little video on it, or was it on your shopping cart? Or
Yeah.
You would, yeah, there's a few different ways. You can email your database and let them know this is what you're now offering. For some people, they can feel a little bit intimidated if they haven't done it. If you have the ability to do a quick little video to show them what it looks like and put it into the email, it takes away a bit of that, oh, what's this going to be like for them? So put the information in an email and send it on to them. If you're active on your Facebook or Insta pages, I'd be really encouraging you to make sure that you're posting on that very regularly, that this is on offer for you to do with you. Some people are doing even sponsored, I know some salons are doing sponsored paid ads because they've got a process in place and they're just promoting that service, because a lot of other salons aren't doing this yet, or they're still finding their way through it. So email, Facebook, Insta page. And you know what the other thing is? Calling your current clients and letting them know this is actually what you're doing through the next couple of months. Good old phone call. Good old phone call will work.
The other thing with photos, what I've done, because I've got a couple of ladies in the UK and they've just sent me an email, photographed 3 frames of their face, frontal, side, with no makeup on. That's helped me without having to do FaceTime and time delays or time zones or.
Yes, that's good for overseas clients. And like I said before, video, before we had that, that's exactly how I used to do it in my business.
Yeah. And to add to, sorry, I missed the other therapist's name who was talking about the nurse with the inflamed
Shelly?
skin. Well, I mean, I'm going through that at the moment. I've got, just to help the group, I'm not just sharing just for the sake of it, but just for the help on a nutritional level. I haven't had eczema since I was 4 years old, and due to this crisis situation, my eczema has flared up. And then I just went, okay, what do I need to do? I know what I need to do. So I went to liquid EFAs, liquid fish oil, 5 mils, and got onto a LGG, which is a metagenics, like gut bion for dysbiosis, like for, I suppose, inflamed skin. And it went down by half within a couple of, by half. So, I mean, I used to take essential fatty acids a lot, and I just stopped taking them because I felt like I was taking way too much. And I got a lot of milia from it. But then I was like, right, I've got to get back into the anti-inflammatory response of the omega-3s. Yeah,
that's great.
Just to help, just to help anyone if you're going through it or your clients. But liquid ones are really more potent than the capsules.
Definitely. Yeah, liquid vitamin C, the liquid EFAs, the vitamin C, zinc, all those things are really going to, and magnesium at night time can be a little bit overdone, but it's actually a really great thing to help your muscles relax, to be able to get the sleep, because sleep should be a focus that we're all having or learning a bit about, to be able to share that with your client, because sleep will not come easy for people during this time. And I've spoken to a lot of salons in the last week who are saying they're really struggling to either go to sleep or they're waking up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. That's a normal process. It's a normal reaction when we're in stress. And to have some of those things, Naomi, to help reduce the inflammation or the inflammation response are a great reminder. Even for those that know it, it's a good reminder.
Actually, I should speak to Frank, because I teach yoga nidra, and it's something I could talk about in a future, which
that'd be amazing.
A 20-minute, like, people don't like meditating or doing yoga, but this is a great way to have some quality rest without having to do anything. It's a guided relaxation.
Let's do this.
That'd be,
if you like, Naomi. Let's book it in for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, good one.
Great.
Right.
Thanks for that, sharing that, Naomi. That's great.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Frank, it's back to you, I think.
Any other questions? We've got Anna saying, recommending chamomile and lavender essential oils for helping with sleep.
Nice.
That's a great one. Thank you, Anna.
Can I just reiterate one thing? I know I touched on it, Frank, but I would really encourage everyone to really go back to their consult form if they haven't done it in a while. I think, Shelly, you mentioned that you've kind of upped your ante around what you're doing with that. I think it's a really important time to go back and have a look at yours and see if there's other things that you could be adding into it, because that will make the process easier for the clients. So just, thanks, Frank.
Yeah, I remember my mother, who, as you may know, everyone, she's the one who started Vital Plus, and she always thought that the consultation was a great conversation starter. Really, it's just we talk about you, and it's one of the favorite subjects everybody has is, and we delve into what are your main concerns, what are your so it's really fundamental part of the therapy as a whole. So really good idea to go over it again and then put it in a online format like you suggested, Jemima. It's really great. Okay, well, look, if you have other questions that come to mind after this meeting, please don't hesitate to put them up. I just want to remind everybody that's here. Oh yes, The Forensic Nutritionist. That's a great book you should all get. We all have one in our desk. There's a lot more than just the face mapping in that book. It's a tremendous book.
Oh, it's like a Bible for the beauty therapist. If you haven't got it, you need to get one. And if most of you probably have received one at some point, it's really valuable, important reading.
I can organise to get some for you. I'm sure I can. I'll speak with Fiona and see what I can do as far as price and all that. But let me know if you want to get a copy. I'll organise it for you. Also, just a quick reminder now that everybody's here, that even though we'll be recording this, and you don't have to take notes, so you can revisit all the things that Jemima's gone through. But at the beginning of this meeting, I asked everybody if they can create a short 2-minute video, just sharing with us your the struggles that you're having through this period, and also the silver linings that are coming up and that you've noticed and experienced. So please share that in a video, and I would really appreciate it. Jemima, just one question. Would you recommend that the consultation is recorded while you're doing the process, or if you ask your client's permission and then they can have a copy of that recording, or not really?
Look, you could. I don't see the benefit to the client having a copy of it, firstly, but it's on offer. It's another offer that you can actually, by all means, have to them. Why not?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Now, my friend Rolando unfortunately can't join us. I think he's having some internet problems over in Cyprus. So I'm really sorry about that. We'll have him next week. Hopefully those things will be sorted out by then. But we've got Amanda, and Amanda, if you're able to share with us some of those ideas that you talked with me a little earlier on, be great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I know a couple of you were on the call, the Zoom session this morning, and something came up that I thought was worth having a discussion with you guys, and that is a trend that I've been following for quite a while, sort of pre-COVID, is the whole emergence of the subscription economy. So if you think about how we as consumers are now consuming products, services, brands, such as how we consume our media, how we consume our entertainment, it's all now based on subscription. So as consumers, we've become very used to paying a monthly subscription. And as a side note, if you have to go through the process of cancelling your credit card, which is really inconvenient, but also a really good budgeting hack, because you realize when you cancel your card how many subscriptions you're actually paying for. Many of them you don't actually use or need. I found out when I went through that process recently that there was a bunch of little subscriptions that I was just mindlessly paying for. Anyway, that's a side note. And it got me thinking about how the subscription economy might pose an opportunity for you guys. As Frank said, this won't be for everyone, but it's something to consider as another offering you could take to your clients now for two reasons. One is that it enables them to budget and have predictability over how much they're spending with you. But of course, the flip side of it in terms of benefit for you is that it gives you predictable cash flow. And it also enables you to stay really close to your clients. So the kind of structure that we were sort of brainstorming this morning was that if you have a client, if you offer a subscription, a really simple subscription offering to your clients, for example, they pay you, and I'm just using these figures for the example. Let's say they pay you $100 a month. What it enables you to do is over deliver on the value. So for example, you may put your clients on $100 a month, and we'll talk about how to pitch a subscription offer in a moment. But what you might do with that is give them an additional 10% value on products or services, on retail product. But what you could also do is add an additional 10% or $10 value each month that they can then accumulate and use on services when things are, and I won't say back to normal, when we've relaunched our businesses, and they can actually come and see you in the salon again. So it enables you to deliver, 20% of additional value, of bonus value to your clients. But of course, it's also locking their loyalty down, giving them predictability, and giving you cash flow predictability. So that's just a little idea that we threw around on the round table this morning that I thought would be valuable to have the discussion again here. As I said, it's not going to be for everyone, but it's just something to consider as an offering to your clients. I'm not saying you migrate all of your clients over to that, but you may have some clients that appeals to because it's predictable for them. And let's face it, in this uncertain time, we're all seeking predictability and certainty.
So how would you pitch it?
Yeah, good question. So I would pitch it that you've, in these uncertain times, we know we're getting feedback from our clients that they want certainty and predictability. And we obviously are in an uncertain time ourselves. I'd be really authentic about it and say, so what we've decided to do is offer a monthly subscription. And the benefit of a monthly subscription is that we're able to deliver you a heap of additional bonus value, so that it's better value for money for you, and it also gives you predictability and ensures that we can maintain a service level through this uncertain time that maintains your skin in the best shape that it can be until we can meet again.
Correct.
That might not be the exact wording, but you get the drift.
So if they say have a $100 subscription, they get $110 of products every month.
Yep.
So if they spend say 120, or so they just pay an extra $10, and they accumulate $10 for the next treatment that they will go towards a treatment when the salon reopens, relaunches.
Correct. Yeah. And so it's also a subtle kind of reference, and you're assuming, and you're kind of making the whole concept of, when you reopen the doors again, you're almost sort of getting that top of mind for them as well. So they're getting prepared and getting excited and building value towards, that amazing emotional first time when they're able to step in the salon and you're able to touch their face again. So I think it's got a couple of peripheral benefits as well. And you might sort of structure your subscription differently. It could be $50 a month and you send the products out every 3 months, for example, or how you structure it is really up to you. But just for clients to be able to pay a regular amount that can be a direct debit or automatically processed off their credit card. It just means that there's no surprises. They can manage their cash flow, which is obviously a huge concern for everyone at the moment. And they can also, maintain their skin regime and good care of their skin.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. And I guess that you could even incorporate, like we were just talking about consultation, you could incorporate the consultation as part of the package. Or
absolutely. I mean, the benefit of having a subscription or predictable revenue for you is that you you just need to focus on servicing your client, not selling to them. And so if you've got that peace of mind that revenue is coming in, you will automatically focus on, how do I add value? How do I over service? How do I over deliver on value? So it has that benefit as well. It's a win-win-win.
Great idea. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's really great.
Pleasure. I'll just drop in each week when I can, if I come up with an idea or something that's
yes. And by the way, I know that I've been attending the round table every morning at 10 a.m.
You have. You get a certificate you get a certificate in a couple of weeks, Frank, with 5 gold stars.
But it is a great forum because it's everybody gets to talk their ideas. Anna, who's with us now, she was sharing with us a ton of things. She's very quiet now, but this morning she was really great with some of the ideas that she shared. So if you'd like to join us, I'll definitely put the link again on our group. Please do. It's another great moment to spend and share ideas. So,
awesome.
well, thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to share them with us. Please remember, I'd love to see that video where you share with us your struggles and your wins. And next week we'll have Naomi with us, who's going to give us an idea about the yoga. What did you call it, Naomi? Sorry.
Yoga Nidra. It's called Yoga Nidra, but it's basically a very ancient practice, and 20 minutes can give you the quality of a 4-hour sleep, and 40 minutes gives you the quality of an 8-hour sleep.
Oh my God.
And it's something I teach in the teacher training programs at the yoga school I've been practicing at for a long time, but it's so profound because you go into that rest and digest state very quickly without going to sleep. Unless you're exhausted, you will fall asleep. But it's a very great technique that you can practice every day for 20 minutes, especially if you're losing sleep and not going to sleep and you're exhausted and you can't function and still work at home. You just have a 20-minute lay down, listen to this deep relaxation technique, and you feel so refreshed.
That's fantastic.
So,
by the way, Naomi gets up around 5 a.m. Am I right? And does
my new routine is 6:30.
Oh, okay. 2 hours of yoga before she starts her day. So certainly
no urgency to get to work.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We love hearing your thoughts and hearing your ideas. And thanks, Jemima. It was really great to hear you give us some great instructions.
My
pleasure. Consultation.
And I would just encourage people again, if they haven't done it before, they're not sure, Danny and I can be their practice person on the end of the Zoom or the Facetime. Use us as your practice people to get it right so you feel confident.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we're stronger together, so we really need to be, sharing and using this space together. Okay?
Great. Thanks.
Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow at 1.
See you tomorrow at 1.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you.